Hey, yo, what is up, everybody? What's going on? It's your girl, Jay, and welcome to my channel. Today, we are talking Angelreese. Now, before Angel made her announcement, I was actually going to make a video just talking about her press conference after the loss to Iowa in the Elite Eight and some of the responses of that because I felt like it was a little too much from the other side. So I kind of wanted to talk about that. But then she made her announcement. And so I figured let's just make a video about all of that all together. So before we get into the announcement, we are going to talk about the press conference. So LSU played Iowa in the Elite Eight. And we all know by now that Iowa came out the victor. So shout out to Iowa's team because they did a really good job. LSU, although they only lost by 5 points, I really felt like there were some things missing, some defensive opportunities they had, some offensive opportunities they had that they could have stayed within the game and maybe even beat Iowa, but that didn't happen. I did talk about that more in depth when I went live with Cess Talk Sports. Shout out to Cess. If you haven't seen that video, check that one out. But LSU just fell short. So after that game, Kim Mulkey, Flau'jae Johnson, Angelreese, and Hailey Van Lith were at the press conference. And here is what Flau'jae had to say when she was asked about Angelreese.
Let me tell you something. Everybody can have their opinion on Angelreese, but y'all don't know her. Like, y'all don't know Angelreese. I know Angelreese. I know the real Angelreese. And the person I see every day is a strong person. Is a caring, loving person, bro. The crown she wears is heavy, bro. She's the type of teammate that's going to make you believe in yourself. The leap that I took from my freshman to sophomore year, Angel gave me that confidence to go be a dog. Playing next to a dog every day. And, you know, just to see how the media ridicule her. Went through our problems, but like, this is my sister right here. And I'm so proud of her. Like, the media, y'all, how they like to twist and call her a villain and all of that, y'all don't know Angel, bro. And I'm just happy that I get to play with her. I get to be around her presence. Her energy is different. Like, she just made me a better player. She made me a better player, and that's what great players do.
I'll say something too. I think, you know, Angel's one of the toughest people I've been around.
Facts.
People speak hate into her life. I've never seen people wish bad things on someone as much as her, and it does not affect her. She comes to practice every day. She lives her life every day. She lives how she wants to live, and she don't let nobody change that. And you know, that's the key to life right there. Y'all do not get to her. Let me say it again. Y'all do not get to Angelreese. So you might want to give it up. Throw the towel in because you're wasting your energy. So Angel's one of the toughest people I've been around.
Now, as you see, Hailey Van Lith also had some words to say about that. And I found that to be super touching. You can see Flau'jae wiping the tears away from Angel's face. And as Flau'jae said, they've had their issues throughout the years that they played together. But they are still sisters. Sisters have little tiffs, have some disagreements, but they are still sisters. They have a bond that is unbreakable when it comes to LSU. And so that was very touching. And after that, the media asked Angel how she felt about hearing those words from her teammates and just how she felt about that whole villain thing in general. And this is what she had to say.
Angel, this question will be for you if you are willing to share. What was going through your mind as you heard your two teammates right here on the dais just taking the opportunity to really stand up for you and what your journey has been like that we don't get to see?
I don't really get to stand up for myself. I mean, I have great teammates. I have a great support system. I got my hometown. I got my family that stands up for me. I don't really get to speak out on things just because I just try to ignore, and I just try to stand strong. Like, I've been through so much. I've seen so much. I've been attacked so many times. Death threats. I've been sexualized. I've been threatened. I've been so many things, and I've stood strong every single time. And I just try to stand strong for my teammates because I don't want them to see me down and like not be there for them. So I just want them to always just know like I'm still a human. Like all this has happened since I won the national championship, and I said the other day I haven't had peace since then. And it sucks, but I still wouldn't change. I wouldn't change anything, and I would still sit here and say like I'm unapologetically me. I'm gonna always leave that mark and be who I am and stand on that. And hopefully the little girls that look up to me, and hopefully I give them some type of inspiration that, no, hopefully it's not this hard and all the things that come at you, but keep being who you are, keep waking up every day, keep being motivated, staying who you are, staying 10 toes, don't back down, and just be confident.
Now, having seen that, I was pretty touched by watching Angel kind of break down, because you see Angel being that hard exterior. You know, she talks about being from Baltimore. She talks about things not affecting her, and it just seems like she does ignore a lot of things coming to her, and she still pushes through. But I know as many people that I know that are like that, and you have to have that hard exterior to be on defense mode. That stuff hurts. I mean, people have to understand, she's 21 years old. The only thing she knows is social media. She grew up in it. So yeah, it's going to have an effect on her. And ever since she won that natty last year, as she says, she has known no peace. The thing with Angelreese, is she a menace on the court? Yes, she's a menace. She talks noise. She gets in your head. She's blocking shots. She's staring you down. She is in your face. She's very abrasive. But isn't that what competitors do? Not everybody. Everyone has their own little thing that they do to be competitive on that court. But is she doing anything any different than any other players out there? Any other basketball players, football players, tennis players, rugby players? Like, people have more noise. They talk more noise in a game of Uno around in my community than they probably do playing sports. That's just a part of the game. So while I don't think people are mad at Angel and treat her the way they treat her because of how she acts, and what she does, it is who she did it to. We all know this started back last year when she beat Iowa and Caitlin Clark, and she held her ring finger up and showed, to Caitlin Clark that she was winning that natty. And people lost their minds. People called her ghetto. People called her classless. People called her all kind of names that I'm not going to repeat here on this show. But it was very disrespectful. And yeah, if you're mad about that and that happened, that should probably last 1 or 2 weeks tops, maybe even a month. And maybe you revisit it when the season starts. But this girl has gotten harassed online every single day since she won that ring. A situation that should have been joyous for her, something to celebrate in, something that people go their whole lives never achieving, something that she's achieved. And she has no peace, all because of that. And the thing people always bring up, well, she can't be the victim and the villain at the same time. She said she was a villain. She took that on proudly. Well, did y'all think why she took that on? Because y'all wouldn't let her be anything else. She didn't make herself the villain. People out there made her the villain. People named her that. People crucified her. People demeaned her. People disrespected her every chance they got. And it would be different if it was teammates or coaches. She's not on that panel in that presser crying about other teams slapping the ball out of her hand or putting the get your money up sign in her face, or telling her she's too short, or just talking noise to her. She's not complaining about any of that. If they were to do that, that's just due, because that's what she does on the court. But people are coming for her character off the court. People talk about her being on social media too much. People talk about the way she dresses. People talk about her makeup and her eyelashes. People talk about her IQ. None of that has anything to do with basketball. Yet there are people with their big ages who are not in college, who are not playing against Angel, who probably aren't even watching the game. They're just jumping on the bandwagon, that are on social media instead of taking care of their home and household and bills and kids or whatever else they need to take care of. They're spending their time tweeting at a 20, 21-year-old for a whole year. Because why? Because she beat the team you thought should have won. Because she dared, as a black woman, have confidence and be bold and seemingly act like y'all words don't affect her. That's why y'all hate her. It's because she taunted Caitlin Clark, who is seemingly America's sweetheart. And the crazy thing is, y'all, this is ball. Caitlin Clark has said it. Angelreese has said it. There's no beef. Caitlin Clark said pretty much after that whole thing went down, congratulations to Angel. It's not a big deal. This is just what happens. It's all good. Angel said, I don't hate Caitlin. I think what both of us did was put eyes on the game. We started the movement to grow women's basketball, and that's a great thing. And even when both of them, the two parties that are involved, say it's not a big deal, people still take that and run with it. And y'all have been harassing this girl to the point of death threats, physical threats, and all kind of things for a whole year. And then when she sits in front of a presser, and now she's touched because her teammate has the nicest things to say about her, and she's touched, and later we find out is because it's also her last game, and she's not playing with Flagey anymore. She's not going to play with HVL anymore. She's not playing with LSU anymore. So a lot of emotions come together in that situation. But we didn't know that at the time. But she's open, she's crying, she's showing that she's human. And what happens? People are still dragging her through the mud. She says she can't take up for herself. She never gets the opportunity to take up for herself. And y'all prove her right. She's literally telling you, I've been getting death threats. And instead of taking that, there are a bunch of people saying, well, you talked about being sexualized, but you put yourself on your Instagram in a bikini. So? Does that mean you have to be sexualized because you don't know how to control your urges? No. And then you skip over the part of her being threatened and her having death threats. Nobody should have to deal with that over a basketball game where the offended party is saying, y'all, it's not that serious. They both have known each other since high school. They've been playing against each other since they were in high school. They know each other. They may not be friends, but they're cool. And let us not forget, Angel's not the only one talking noise in these games. There was a young lady with Tennessee, last name Darby, who was talking noise to Angel. But the viral video was Angel saying, who you talking to? Oh, you can't be talking to me. How many points you get? Oh, okay. I remember it like clockwork because I thought it was pretty funny. I love trash talk. I don't care if it's coming from Angel, from Darby, from Caitlin Clark, from whoever it is. Because all that matters is what happens between those lines. If you talk trash, you have to be able to back it up. That's it, and that's all. And sometimes they're going to shut you up with the points they put on that board. And sometimes you're going to come out the victor. But it's all a part of competition. And I just think it's a lot of outside noise that has snowballed into this whole giant thing when the two parties are saying, y'all, we're good. There's no need for that. You know what I'm saying? I don't get that. Media personalities, social media personalities, sports commentators, all kind of people have had negative things to say about Angel, but don't say anything about anybody else talking noise. So yeah, the crown that she wears on her head, as Flage said, is heavy because she takes it on the chin. She might cry at home. She might cry in the car. But when she gets on that floor and those cameras are on her, you would never know. And so her teammates stood up for her and her teammates had her back. And I think that's amazing. And I think that's what teammates and teamwork is all about. When you can't stand up for yourself, who has your back? And this is separate from game talk. This is separate from trash talk. And those of you who can't separate that shows that you really don't watch the game. You don't watch NBA. You don't watch college. You don't watch any competitive sport. Because people talk noise all the time and way worse than going like this to a player. Way worse than going like this to a player. Way worse. And I don't even mind that. Long as it don't really get physical, talk your talk. Because I'm going to come back bigger and better. If you got the best of me this game, best believe I'm going to score so many points on you, you won't have anything to say. And that's fine. That's part of competition. And you leave it right there on the floor. I've never seen Angel get on any social media and talk bad about a player, talk bad about a coach. I've never seen her talk bad in any press conferences she's been in. I've never seen her talk bad about any of her social media videos. I've never seen her talk bad about anybody. She said, I have friends in this league, in college basketball, really, really, really good friends. But when we get between those lines, we're not friends. And if I have to talk crazy to you to mess your game up to get in your head, that's what I'm going to do. She's not alone. Many people do that. If you don't like it, you don't like it. If you don't like her game, that's great. Don't like her game. But don't threaten to kill the girl because she won a natty and your team didn't. And let's not act like she's not getting tons of criticism and tons of just holding her to a different standard than you would anybody else. Let's not act like it's not because she's a black young lady. Now that may ruffle some people's feathers, but I'm a black woman and I know the things that I've had to endure and the things that I've gone through and the microaggressions that I've had to deal with. And I'm just a regular person. I'm not someone on the stage. I'm not someone that has millions of followers. I'm not someone that has hundreds of thousands of millions of eyeballs on her. I can only imagine. How dare you be confident? How dare you have NIL money? You don't deserve that. How dare you win a national championship? It was a fluke. How dare you graduate? You're dumb. How did you do that? What do you mean? I thought you flunked out of school. How dare you hold yourself up and put a crown on your head? Who do you think you are? When you think about that, doesn't that sound weird? Doesn't that sound you're hating from outside the club? Y'all need to cut it out. Y'all need to cut it out. Now, I couldn't articulate what I really wanted to say about Angel and the things that she's gone through. I don't think it's okay if you think she's a dirty player. If you think she's a dirty player, I'm not condoning being dirty. I'm not condoning anything physical. I know she is abrasive on that floor, but we are talking about two different things. And the reason we're in the place that we're in is because people cannot separate the two. You can do that with everybody else. Because I think Caitlin did this to some player. Did y'all forget the Final Four when they were playing against South Carolina and she waved Raven off? She didn't even guard the girl. She said, I'm not guarding her. I'm turning this way and I'm just going to see where she throws the ball and I'm going to guard them. I'm not guarding her. That's mad disrespectful. And nobody said anything. As far as I'm concerned, that's part of the game. Raven says, try that this year. She's ready. Because it's all about the game. She didn't take it as disrespect necessarily from Caitlin Clark in a way that it was personal. But the way she was ridiculed online and the way she was made a meme all across social media, that took a toll on her. And she thought about quitting the game. I'm glad she didn't. I'm glad she got in the gym. I'm glad she got her weight up. I'm glad she worked on her shot. And she's been amazing this season. But no one talked about that. No one cared about that and how it affected Raven. But people jump on Angel because she's too cocky, which is crazy to me. It's crazy to me. I read a tweet. I'm going to get to this tweet. I read a tweet that I want to say it was Taylor Rooks who said it. And she said it in a way that really conveyed, it made everything make sense to me. Because people have really talked about Angel crying on this during this presser and how pretty much she can't have feelings. She can't feel bad. She doesn't need the sympathy. You can't relate to her. Nobody relate to her because she's a menace on the floor, so she doesn't deserve sympathy and love because of what she does on the floor. So the death threats, we don't care about that. The physical threats, we don't care about that. We are mad at her, what she did at a game that you didn't even watch. That's the crazy part. A lot of people didn't even watch the game and didn't watch this season. They are going off of clips and people's videos and going ham. But this tweet that Taylor wrote to one of her colleagues who had a lot to say, which was very ridiculous and unfounded, and I don't know where he was going with it, but this is what she had to say. She says, respectfully, colleague, the disappointing thing about this take is you actually can't have an informed opinion on this if you are choosing to be gender neutral and racially indifferent. Because that's how he started. He says, I'm going to say this, and I'm not going to put any gender or any racial anything into it, except you can't. Because Angel is a woman and Angel is black. You have to put that in there. You just do, because that's the person that she is. That's who she is. So she goes on to say, because that is impossible. Her existence as a black woman shapes both how she is seen by others and how she sees the world. And in this case, how she is seen by you. Your response here is actually full of opinions that indirectly and directly involve both race and gender. It's just coded to unsuccessfully soften the blow. You have to ask why Angel became the villain. You have to ask why her role as villain has not allowed her to also be human You have to wonder why her being asked a question and simply answering has led to this level of discourse. You have to ask what you mean when you say Angel wants to talk grown or pose grown. What is grown substitute for? You have to ask why trash talking at practice many athletes engage in is seen so much harsher when it comes from someone that looks like her. You have to ask how some of the ideas you express fuel the fire of aforementioned marginalization. You have to ask why you heard her discuss unacceptable treatment and your reaction was discuss how she can address it. And I have to ask if you spoke to any Black women athletes about their experiences in order to give a more enlightened take before you came and said this. Angel has absolutely made herself a public figure, and she should be open to criticism pertaining to her game and persona. She should also be allowed to express when those criticisms are out of bounds. Why did you clean her reaction as opposed to the vitriol that caused it? She certainly does not deserve sympathy for losing a game. She deserves sympathy for being attacked and targeted for things outside of said game. As much as you believe this to be a take without bias, your reasoning proves the point you are fighting against. Opinions are opinions, and everyone is entitled, but our opinions are shaped by the paradigms we know. I hope no one says they are taking out gender and race because in a Black woman's world, we don't have that choice. We do not have that choice. I hope you realize your luxury and privilege by being able to say what you said. I hope you look around and notice the people that have delighted and applauded seeing a Black man get on television and give this opinion on a young Black woman, because it is not for reasons you think. That's my take. So shout out to Taylor for that, because that really sums up how I feel about it. There is, and not many people may get it, and some people may be offended by it. But as much as we don't want race in it, I don't want race in it. I don't want race to be a factor in this world. But I can't, unfortunately, I can't live my life through that eye lens, because it's not a realistic and it's not a reality for me. So as much as we don't want to put race into things like this and into sports, you have to know that there's a large portion of people jumping on the bandwagon to beat up Angel just because of the color of her skin and that she's a woman. And just because you feel like you made a good point and people are agreeing, you have to look at what exactly are they agreeing to? What are they agreeing about? My opinion is, talk about Angel's game all you want to. When Angel fouled out against Iowa, the whole crowd, all of Iowa's fans, stood up and waved bye-bye to her as she fouled out of her last game ever that she's going to play as an LSU Tiger. Some might have seen that to be disrespectful. I thought it was justified, because not too long ago, Angel was waving at one of the players that she had fouled out. It's part of the game. I wasn't mad at that. That's just what happens when you're on that court. But the things that people have ridiculed and talked about when it pertains to Angel really has nothing to do with the game. So I'm glad I got that off my chest. I talked about that during my live, but I really wanted to take some time to really say what I had to say, because y'all are not going to make me hate Angel ever. I think she's talented, and I'm super happy that she made the announcement that she made today, which was that she's going to the WNBA. Something that I thought she might have made that decision. I didn't know when she had made the decision, but I felt something about the way she was so passionate in those press conferences, the way that she seemed to be saying, stop putting the spotlight on me and start looking at Anissa Morrow, start looking at Flage, start looking at my teammates, look at Kent, look at Del Rosario. It was a kind of a way I felt like she was almost passing the torch. And so she made her decision today that she's declaring for the WNBA. And not just in a regular way. Angel went to Vogue magazine and she used her article in Vogue to let us all know that she indeed is declaring for the WNBA. And the thing is, she made this decision before the tournament ever started. And there's a couple of things in this article that I wanted to read that I thought was pretty cool that she said. If you guys have a chance, check out the Vogue magazine. You can see it online, but it just talks about her journey through being at LSU and her decision to decide to go to declare for the WNBA draft. But here's a quote that she said. She says, "I've done everything I wanted to in college. I've won a national championship. I've gotten SEC Player of the Year. I've been an All-American. My ultimate goal is to be pro and to be one of the greatest basketball players to play ever. And I feel like I'm ready." And then another piece, she talked about going to the W and understanding that there's going to be a drop off in the amenities. We know that some of these teams don't have true training facilities. None of these teams fly private. Some of these teams don't have the best playing facilities, practice facilities. It's a growing organization. Some teams do and some teams don't. But this is what she had to say about taking that leap from college to the W, because LSU does fly private. LSU does have a full locker room for themselves that they don't have to share with someone else. A lot of WNBA teams don't have that. But this is what she had to say. The article says the article says she may never experience a fan base like the one she has in Baton Rouge, she tells Vogue. The resources in most WNBA organizations, from the staff down to the locker room facilities, pale in comparison to those at LSU. And flying private, as she has rather frequently over the past few years, would no longer be the norm. Reese, though, is okay with all of that. "I want to start at the bottom again," she says. "I want to be a rookie again. I want to build myself back up. I want to be knocked down and learn and grow at the next level." And if that doesn't sum up Angelreese, I don't know what does. A lot of people have a lot of opinions about Angel, but the only thing I've seen outside of basketball is a 21-year-old just doing 21-year-old things, making TikToks, doing her makeup, opening packages she gets from different companies as an influencer, and using her NIL deals. That's the life that she has. And a lot of people think that she's cocky and she won't learn. And then you hear stuff like this where she says, "I want to start at the bottom again." And she knows she has a lot to learn. She knows going pro is another level, and she's ready for it. And she's ready to start at the bottom because she knows that probably wherever she goes, she's going to have to start at the bottom. Because that's what most rookies do. I'm not saying she won't be successful. Some rookies start at the bottom, and by the mid-season, end of the season, they're on top. Some rookies start at the bottom, and it takes them a couple years to get their footing and become some of the best players in the league. We won't know which one Angel is going to be, but Angel has all of my support. I cannot wait for April 15th to find out what team she's going to be drafted to. And then I can't wait for the kickoff, the start of the WNBA season. I hope all the eyeballs that have been watching her and Caitlin and Cardoso and Cameron Brink and all these great players in college that declare for the WNBA, if they get picked up and if they make a team, I hope we get to see that kind of excitement that I already see is in the W. But I hope that brings more eyeballs to the league and that they can also grow as an organization. So that's all I have for y'all. I appreciate y'all for watching. Angel, if you ever see this, shout out to you. I think you're great. I love the trash talk, and I can't wait to see that trash talk in the W. I can't wait. I can't wait. Because I can't wait to see what somebody's going to say back and how they're going to react. And I want to see points dropping left and right. I want to see baskets trading. I think it's great for the game. I can't wait. That's all I have for y'all today. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace out.